man. The name Justin is trash, man. It's trash. Imagine the way he introduces himself to people is hard. We'll get into this part of the episode. At the beginning when they're doing that flying training, and we'll talk more about it in a second. But the bit where they get to the desert, not the mountain, sorry, and that climber gets up there. The climber's like raw, like because he gets spooked that people are up there. And he goes, "Oh, sorry, by the way, I'm in." The thing imagine introducing, oh, by the way, I'm invincible. That's hard, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I swear, I need to come up with a name like that. By the way, I'm invincible. That's how when I started my new job. Imagine if I joined my new team with that energy. What's your name, bro? Invincible. Raw.
Man, yeah, that is. I mean, I have to give you props for getting me to watch it because when you messaged me saying watch Invincible, like I'm just today right now. I don't know. I didn't at first. I can't remember. I think I was watching something else, and I'm a kind of person where if I'm watching something, I do, and especially if I'm coming towards the end of it, I do like to finish it off first before I move on. And then I watched the first episode, and I was like,
oh. When I tell you to watch something now, best believe it's for a reason.
Yeah.
When I tell you, I didn't just say, "Oh, check this program out." I said, "Today, now."
Yeah.
You need to watch this day, man.
Yeah.
And then you will see. I knew from you watched the first episode. That's what happened with me because I knew it was coming out from a while ago, and I read the premise. I haven't read the original comics, but I'll be ordering them very soon. Can't wait to read them. But when I heard the premise of the show a few months ago, I was excited. I was like, that even that premise sounds dope. I'm looking forward to the show. So when I saw it was out, like on social media or something, I said, okay, let me check the first episode out because I'm looking forward to it. I ended up being up till, because they dropped the first 3 at once, right? So I ended up being up to like 4 a.m. Just because I had to. When I watched the first one, I was like, nah, I can't turn.
You watched all 3?
Yeah, I just banged. I had to, man. I was like, nah, this was too. They just executed it too well for me.
It did. I mean, I watched the first 2 in one go, and then I watched the next one. You got more
self-discipline than me, bro. I ain't got that self-discipline. If there'd been 10 episodes on that, I might have watched the whole damn thing, bro. I might have sat there. Like, so the drop 3 that I stopped at 3, bro, because I could have kept going, man.
The thing is, I was there just praying when the 4th episode come out. I was thinking, I was really praying that they did another 3. I know they wouldn't, but I was thinking maybe they might just accidentally
hit the button. Yeah. Oh my days, man. No, we should be so lucky. I think it's 10x, but we're strapped for time. I don't make it too long either. So give me a quick your quick thoughts on the first 3 episodes.
First 3 episodes. I mean, well, firstly, I love the way that they lull you into a kind of a full sense of standard superhero kind of show, where it's like you got like a superhero team, like Avengers / Justice League, like they're like they're the most powerful people on the planet, the protectors, full of moral integrity. I love that. And I was like, okay, I was watching it, cool. And then all of a sudden, there's little bits in it that I'm thinking, okay, I kind of like the son before he becomes invincible. I like him. I like his character. And also, the thing I love about Amazon Prime, by the way, is that while you're watching, whoever's on screen, it tells you who the actors are.
Yeah, you can press pause and it tells you.
Yeah, or just move the mouse. If you just move the mouse while it's going, it will tell you.
Oh, I don't really watch it on the computer. I normally watch it on TV in it, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you move the mouse, it just shows you who's playing. And so I was thinking, okay, guy from Walking Dead, was it Steven Yeun? And so I was like, then I was like, okay, I'll probably need to take this seriously because they got some serious people in this, like got some good actors. And so I continue watching it. And then when they all get, I mean, I'm skipping bits because I can't remember exactly what the first episode is, but when all the superheroes get the call to meet at the base, and then they meet their fatal end, like I was like, wow, this is like taking the best bits of normal superhero films and series, and then taking bits from what I felt like The Boys in a way, and kind of molding it together. But you're kind of thinking, but why is this happening? Why? Because no one tells you.
Go on.
And no one tells you why. It's like,
I mean, you're hoping that with time will be revealed. I've read some bits of the comics and stuff, so I know why already, but I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Yeah, don't spoil it. I don't want it.
But freaking,
like, even Sisal, I like Sisal's character. Like, he's a reasonable man. He's a reasonable man.
I'm sorry, what he did in the latest episode was not reasonable, but we'll talk about that, bro.
Yeah.
What he did, but I just want to focus on the first three first. So it's going to be easy for me to edit this video before we move on to episode 4, right?
Yeah.
But freaking that fight, man. That fight was good. It was a nice glimpse to see like what would happen if Superman and the League really went hands and everyone was trying to kill everyone, bro. It was deep. I mean, you know what, yeah? What he done may have been evil, but at least he didn't there was no underhanded tactics per se. You could argue that they were a bit caught off guard at first, but man just called them all to one place, turned up, and just swing hands, bro. You gotta respect them because they hurt him. You know, at first, I thought that I don't know if you probably didn't watch my video I did, but I actually thought when he collapsed initially that he collapsed because as part of the ruse. But it wasn't until I thought about it more later and I was like, that didn't make sense because if he turned off the cameras and stuff like that, he could have just left. They could have got there and they wouldn't have known who did it, right?
Yeah, but he wanted them to find him there, right?
No. See, you thought the same thing I did. Now, when I thought about it more, I realized it's because they actually hurt him. He was actually legitimately knocked out. Like they took.
Yeah, but do you think that he allowed himself to get hurt a bit?
I think he's arrogant and he underestimated them a little bit. You even heard in the late episode when he was talking about a couple of them to his wife, like, they weren't even like what that Red Rush guy. Okay, he could run really fast. It's not really Premier superpower. So I think he knew. So I don't want to give any spoilers, but he obviously wanted to take them out. That's what I'm going to say, because that's what he did, right? He obviously wanted to take them out. I think, and you can see he's very, very confident in his abilities. So I think he's gone in there a bit like, all right, give me 6-7 minutes. I'll hands them up, right? And I think they got in more licks on him than he anticipated. I think, you know what bit it was in particular? It's in the bit where one of them was holding him and then the Wonder Woman and the other guy equivalent came and they were just handsing him up. I think he felt that because they're powerful people, and although he's Superman-esque, he's not Superman, so it's not like the strong people can hurt him.
Yeah, and that's what this is one thing I was going to say about the whole thing is that I like the fact that this Superman-esque person can still bleed. Even Invincible can bleed. I quite like that aspect of it.
No, exactly. So I think, however, I think if he was to do the fight again, I don't think they'd touch him. Now that if it was a round 2, now that he knows, okay, I should take them a bit more seriously, because he wasn't trying his hardest. If he was trying his hardest, he probably wouldn't have stopped for a second. He probably would have gone in there, straight beams, punches, kicks, whatever. I wouldn't even have those parts where he was standing in the middle, come at me sort of thing. It wouldn't have been none of that. But so I think it was because it's the only way. It also explains why his excuse afterwards was so crap, because that's the first thing that made me go, okay, so he must have actually been knocked out. Because when he said, "Oh, what's your excuse?" "Oh, well, we was all there, lights went out, beat us all up, and then I woke up in the hospital." It's like, mate, you're the only one that survived. This guy went to lengths to make sure everyone else was dead. Heads were exploded and all sorts. And you really think he's going to make the mistake of just leaving you knocked out if his objective was to kill everyone in that room? So that the excuse is and you straight away know you're going to be blamed. The excuse is too weak for it to have been his plan to lie on the floor. I don't know what happened. I was there, lights went out. Everyone's dead but me. Oh, really? And you are also physically powerful enough to kill everyone in that room. Like maybe if you didn't have the powers, you might have got away with an excuse like that. Yeah. But you are physically strong enough that you could, in theory, kill everyone in that room, especially if you caught them off guard.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, great way to end the first episode, and all of that stuff. And I liked how he got his power. I liked how like there wasn't a talking about Mark here before he becomes invincible. There wasn't his life was in peril and suddenly his powers kicked in. I was just throwing out rubbish at Mackie.
Yeah, and he threw a bit like into space.
I was like, that didn't make sense, because what's the odds that every time it's gonna be my line, I was on the brink of death and suddenly I became Superman? It's like, yeah, is that work? It was that work. So hopefully one day when I'm typing on my keyboard, my powers are just gonna
just like hand go through the desk.
Oh my days! What did you think of that scene?
Yeah, no, I thought I liked it as well. I liked the fact that, yeah, like you're saying, they're kind of making it so that people are they're average people, normal people who just get superpowers, or well, he got his superpower, although he's not normal. He's like half. I can't remember what they call it.
Viltrumite,
yeah, half Viltrumite. So I mean, he's not normal, but I like the fact also, even the family story about the fact that he's like, he got his powers late, and even his his dad didn't even, almost sound like he didn't really want him to get his powers, which made me interested. I was thinking, why don't you want him to get it? Is he going to be another obstacle? Is that what you're worried about for your plan?
Well, I mean,
and of course, don't spoil anything.
Well, look, he's been living a comfortable life for the last 17 years, at least maybe 20 years or so. And I guess, he didn't want things to change, man. Things have changed now. His son has powers. So I can say on the matter, innit? So I can say, but like, he's living a good life. Freaking boy, we talk about the team as well, man. Man like Rexplode is my guy, man.
No.
When he came out the shower with them 3 women, I said, woo. And I said, why has my mind never gone there with people that could clone?
That was an excellent use of utility. And only can clone.
Way. Yeah. Imagine our girlfriends could clone, bro. Oh. I know. The way where my mind went when I saw that, I said, whoa.
But that's the thing that I was questioning. I was thinking to myself, hold on. Imagine if someone could clone and your girl cheated on you with someone who could clone. Could you blame them? Can you clone?
Can you clone? That's not the criteria. There needs to be more criteria than that, bro. He was with a girl who had powers, man.
But she couldn't clone to 3 different women. That's maybe what he requires for his
satisfaction, bro. Yeah. But his hit list is all right, though, bro. He's like, man, like Explode, yeah.
He's making his way through, and now he's like looking at the little girl who's actually 24 or whatever, like, the monster girl, who I thought that was quite an interesting power and an interesting twist to her power.
That's a curse, man. She's cursed.
Well, yeah, she's cursed. Yeah, it's an interesting twist. Like every time she.
What I find most interesting about it is more the fact that you would then volunteer to be a superhero, because you can now only be a superhero if you transform. Wouldn't a situation like that make you not want to transform ever?
Yeah.
So now voluntarily choosing to transform to save people, which is admirable, but at the same time, it's like, mate, do you want to grow up at some stage? So stuff will develop in that situation in future as well. Again, we'll not spoil it. Also, to be honest, I say spoil. I've looked at the first few comments, whatever. I know a lot of stuff, but however, they've already done stuff differently to the comics.
Okay.
It's not following the comics line for line. Like the overall plot points seem more or less the same, but things are transitioning in their own way. So although I know some stuff from the comics, they might not be what plays out in the show. So what it is when certain points pass, I'll mention to you where it was different, just in case they decide to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But, what else? I'm trying to think. Is there any highlights from the first 3 that I would? I love how the play on the names, like the fact that instead of cyborg, it's just straight robot. That makes me laugh. And duplicate is her name. Like that's her name.
Yeah.
Rexplode instead of explode. Was it Atom Eve instead of Atom Eve is the girl's name?
Yeah. But the thing is, Rexplode though, when I saw him, I was thinking, how did he get into the team? Like after when they did the whole like they were recruiting to create their kind of team group.
Yeah.
I was thinking, how did he even get in? He seems shit, man.
Like he's all right, man. If you look carefully at that first scene, like he was handling it. You can see, and also that power. He's basically Gambit, right?
Yeah.
And that's a very powerful power to be able to touch things and make them explode.
Yeah.
No joke of a power.
Yeah.
From what I know, he's got a bit of height and durability and strength or whatever. Not like to like invincible levels, but he's a bit stronger than an average man.
Yeah.
Um,
He needs to be able to touch air. If he can touch air,
make air explode, man.
That would make him like combustion man. That would make him like very powerful.
That alien race that kept trying to invade and kept aging in our dimension. That was kind of jokes.
Yeah, I like that concept. That was quite good.
And did you see when my man eventually beat him, man, like Omni Man? Did you see him say what the first thing he said when he got there? This place ain't yours to invade, bro. That's what he said.
Yeah, it's like it's mine.
That's not what he said. That's not what he said. Why he put words in his mouth? He said
that's what he insinuated, man.
All he said was it's not theirs, man. I like that cross between John Constantine and Enrigan. What's his name? That demon detective.
Oh, Damien Blood.
Yeah.
Damien Darkblood, which I quite like his character because I feel like he's going to be an important character. It feels like.
Well, yeah. Until what happened to him in recent episode, though, man.
Yeah.
Part him off.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I'm not even sure why it took him to even like this. That's what initially put me off this Cecil guy, this Nick Fury guy at first. First, like, fam, the first question I'm asking is, did my man do it? I just like you got there. It's like, why is everybody dead but you? And so I feel like although for me, the more value in a detective would have been to work out why this guy did it. Like because I'm sorry, like if I'm a police officer and I walk into that scene, you did it, bro. You clearly fought them. One, everyone's dead. What other conclusion? There's one of the ones where I'm thinking that until you prove me otherwise.
Yeah.
Like I'm not coming in going, nah, it couldn't have been him. And someone has to prove to me it is. Like, nah, you did it unless you prove me otherwise.
I think that's what Cecil was doing from the beginning, though. It's just he couldn't make it out like looking like, okay, Omni-Man, we know you did it. There's no way he was going to be like that because then everybody dead. Everybody. And so he has to kind of look like he's giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like he's got an excuse to get surveillance on him because that he's just been attacked, and so we should watch your every move in case they come back, and make maybe so that Omni-Man also keeps his guard down a bit. I don't know, something like that. But I think Cecil, and that's why that's why he had to do Damien Darkblood dirty like that. Had to do it because otherwise he was asking too many questions, giving like hints to man's wife, assume like insinuate like kind of I think he needed to do what he did, but at the same time I kind of like Damien Darkblood, so I feel like he's still about. Maybe he's set some spell and can't like.
Well, he's not dead. He's just
he can't.
Hell, so perhaps he'll figure out a way to come back. Again,
maybe he's got a little portal to get back in. Pops up in their walking wardrobe.
At the same time, though, he hasn't really his role thus far to me up until actually let's take a pause there because before I want to wrap up the first 3 episodes. But yeah, first 3 episodes, what would your combined out of 10 rating be?
Out of 10, I mean, it's a strong 8/. Yeah, it's a strong 8. It's a strong 8. And it's a nice 8 because it's like, I don't need it to be a 9 or a 10 because that's a bit too high for early episodes, you know? Like,
that's fair enough. I think I would go 9, but I'm probably fanboying with my general love of animation and comics and Marvel and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the way I feel like they executed the story so far.
Yeah.
Even this underlying subplot of like, is robot evil? Like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
And guys and all of that stuff. I just feel like it's just like every scene is interesting.
Yeah.
And so but I think 8 is a fair grade, but I think I'd probably go 9. But the point is, we both really enjoyed it.
Yes, yeah, definitely,
Episode 4, though, man.
Huh?
Episode 4.
Yes.
First off, I was laughing at that scene. You see when he's on Mars. I know we're jumping ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
And he talks to the council, the Martian council, whatever, and they're like, "Nah, we have to kill the humans, blah blah. Too much of a risk." And he goes, "Right." And then the next scene, they just. I was dying. I was like, yeah, because you see that, and I just love that sort of direction because it's inevitable. As if he's gonna agree to, oh well, yeah, that makes sense. All right, sorry, bro, I'm out. Yeah. So rather than him sneaking around, how's he gonna free them? Just straight to the point, bro. Like, I like it.
Yeah.
I still can't quite figure out how the Martian managed to shapeshift, get on the ship, and then an infected human was actually there, and he's basically destroyed Mars now, man.
Yeah, destroyed Mars, but also maybe destroyed Earth. Like, I'm guessing if the other version of him is on the ship going back to Earth, like, I'm sure that's going to cause problems. Maybe they're going to get all those people on Mars are going to have those things on their faces and probably going to come to Earth.
I mean, a Martian invasion probably seems likely down the line. So, there's quite a lot of superpowered people on the planet.
Yeah,
I still feel like Omni-Man is the biggest threat, even with a whole Martian invasion. Yeah. That guy, my dad right there, I think he's he's a bit.
He's ruthless, man. Ruthless. Do you know, I even enjoyed the beginning of the 3rd episode when, like, he's fight him and Eve are fighting that guy who's like, I don't know, he's like the mad scientist,
right?
And some of his like comments about how gender equality and that was jokes, man. Like, I was cracking up, and that's the thing I love about the show. The fact that
they were a bit violent there, though, to be honest, because between the powers they both had, right, and the lack of civilians in general in the area, they weren't in the city, I didn't feel they needed to use as much force as they did. Again, I'm watching it thinking, hold on, are you not gonna make any attempt to try and like restrain him, something like that? It's just straight hands and blast and punch and lava and chuck him into space or something. I'm like, raw. Yeah. They didn't chuck him into space. I think they just they crushed him or jumped him in lava or something. How did they?
Well, I don't think it was they purposefully tried to kill him, because I feel like they were fighting him and then he ends up falling in the lava.
I think, but again, there was no attempt to try and stop that. There definitely wasn't enough attempt to take this guy out safely and bring him in. It was like, we're going to take him out. What happens. If he fell into some lava. No, well, shit happens. Like you're fast enough that you could have probably flown over there and grabbed him. Do you know what I mean? Even if only his legs still got burned, at least he wouldn't be dead. Like,
yeah. They're just
like, he was more focused on chatting to this girl, bruv. But I mean, if he puts game on it, bruv, maybe he can get a threesome with him and the black girl. I'm joking.
and the duplicate as well.
Let duplicate. No man is meant to be with a woman with that kind of ability, bro. No.
But what about her, man? Why are you not even thinking about her?
Why did she duplicate anyway? But why did this one guy? Why did she need to become 3 women, man?
Maybe she gets 3 orgasms, man. Maybe
that actually makes sense. That's the joke.
Yeah.
I'm speaking of which, so when she was fighting in the first episode, just to jump back quickly, I did feel like the ones were getting killed too quickly. And I was like, does it matter which one get killed? Because you can't tell me that it's always the clones that get killed, or does it just...
No, I think it's almost like, because I remember there was one point where I can't remember what it is. It was like someone said something like, "Oh yeah, but it was only your clones that died." She's just like, "No, they're not my clones. They're all me." She said something like that.
Yeah, she said, and that,
it made me think that actually, as soon as she clones, equal parts of her consciousness are in equal bits. So even if she clones, whichever one dies, she's still alive. She's still in the other one, which is what it feels like. I don't know this in terms of confirmation wise, but like I think this is roughly what it is.
Yeah, fucking. Well, yeah, maybe. I don't think we're even supposed to really care that much, to be honest, in the sense that the way this guy seems to write it is just like, let's not. The story is more the point rather than, like, it's not Marvel where he's gonna start fleshing out their powers in some great or whatever. Yeah. But I don't think the story really needs it. You see, we've seen a million different superhero mediums where they do all of that. She can clone herself, whatever. I was just curious, mainly from watching Naruto more than anything, because obviously the Shadow Clone, the most famous cloner of modern day now will be Naruto. If you think of copying, you're gonna think of Shadow Clone Jutsu, right? And that said, there's always that concept of there's the main body, which always manages to evade too much damage, but the clones get destroyed, and when they get destroyed, they turn into smoke, right? Whereas with her, it was just straight blood and guts coming out of her head, and so I was like, "Rah!" That, like, anyway. But anyway, back on, we got off track. Back on episode 4. So I like that he didn't stupidly go and tell the girl already his identity, because after that conversation in the school, I thought that might happen. I thought, oh, is he really gonna like just like that, bro? Like, you just started dating the girl, literally yesterday. Like, it's a bit. But luckily, he had the sense to say, "Nah, I'm gonna come up with a lie."
Yeah, I love the fact when he got back, and the girl was in his room, and he was just on the stairs, and an Omni-Man's talking to him, and then he's talking to him. He's like, like, you left a girl in there. It's bad, but it's good. And he's just on the top of the stairs, like, yeah, because when I was first starting out, I met your mother, the way, blah, 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 and he's talking, and he's like, and I was like, okay, yeah, I like that. They've just got it on point, man. They've got like the comedic.
It feels realistic to. Although I don't like the way they fly off and around in the daytime. Although there's even got me started thinking, like, if I could fly, I just flew out the window right now. Would anyone see? And I guess odds are you'd probably get away with it, because it's not as if everyone around is just staring up at my window waiting to see what I do.
Outside of your window, no one would see. No one looks up, man. Like, no one really looks up. But then there have been times, like, for instance, when Eve she was in school, and then she just flew.
Yeah, when you jumped off the roof, and I thought, right, not one student was like, I did like her explanation about, you don't think there's a villain in this superhero in the school, so you don't see one. Like, that's why they don't wear masks. Because no one thinking, I wonder if one of my students is a superhero. And I saw some logic in it, especially if you're not like Justice League level, especially if you're just kind of a C team.
Yeah.
Like, maybe if you were maybe she was one of the Guardians of the Globe, which she does, then maybe she'd be a bit more, let's be on TV, and that someone would be sitting in school and go, "Hold on, me."
Yeah.
But anyway, what about the episode? So there was that scene with the mummy. I wonder if that's going to lead to anything. That right at the beginning where
the twin, one of the twins.
Yeah, that was interesting. When they uncover the pyramid, and the archaeologist goes in and he gets possessed by that mummy or something.
Yeah.
And the door slams, and then there's like stuff like that. But I wonder if that's going to lead to anything.
Yeah, there's so many. There's quite a few different things that are just popping up, which I quite like. And even like we mentioned the Martian bit, and of course Omni-Man, and then this Mummy. That maybe it'll just turn, and maybe the Mummy will be your standard supervillain, and
Yeah,
it'll be occurring whilst all the other kind of interesting parts of the plot hole start to unravel as well.
yeah, no, exactly. What else, man? I actually had some notes. Maybe I have my notes what happened in that episode.
Um,
Why you gotta do things the same day?
yeah, it's true. Because all I've got in my head right now is WandaVision because I just finished watching it.
Oh, you finally finished WandaVision?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, it was good. 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 I enjoyed it. I
Scarlet
did like,
is here.
yeah, and I liked her outfit as well. Like she looked dope. She looked very good. And I just didn't like the way that she just dropped her kids like that, just chilling. She had kids, birthed some kids, and then the world had to end that she had created.
It
And
was
she,
all fake anyway. They weren't actual, even though you heard their voices in that post-credit scene, which was bizarre. But
yeah,
it all happened in a fictional world. So technically, she never had kids. But
yeah, but still, if you believe it, like if you, it's your reality, your perception, and she had those kids, man,
like,
and she created a bond with them kids, and all of a sudden, she was just happy to be like, well, Scarlett, them kids, and I'm gone. Like,
I don't think she was happy about it. But, but yeah.
like she would have more. I would have like if my mom does not mourn me as I disappear because her manifestations of me cannot be sustained outside of a
But you were
red.
never really there. You're not a manifestation.
But you are though. You are a manifestation. You're her manifestation. Like, yeah, you're not really there in a way, but you are. You are to her, and that's what counts. And the fact that she was happy to just drop.
Now we're getting into a deeper conversation now. Like, so we're getting into. I
Yeah,
think she was clearly sad about it and would have loved to continue that life, but realized that by continuing a life like that whilst torturing an entire town of people, it's not acceptable. So as because she still is on, in theory, a hero.
yeah, and I completely agree. For me, I was just expecting some more kind of like, no, no, please, no, let me keep my kids. There must be a way. There must be a way. Flip through that book. There
The
must
kids
be a
that
way.
you realize in that reality, she'd literally known them kids for like a week. As well, they weren't even like she hadn't actually raised them for 12 years or something like that. Like they were born and aged to 12 in like 4 days.
Yeah, that is fair enough. That is fair enough.
Anyway, yeah, I remember the episode. We need to talk about the mum, and I like how she's getting a bit of a Lois Lane vibe in her. Like she's become
Yeah,
curious about, is this guy lying to me and stuff like that, and
yeah,
wants to try and find it out. You can see that he's like had an influence on her. So that story about in the past where they dated and then she initially dumped her because of how arrogant he was, and then but then you assume the guy humbled a bit, so she saw him save some children. She decided to give him another chance. Blah blah. Things have improved, but you can sort of see hints of where he still looks down on her a little bit. Like for example, sometimes when he loses his temper a bit at her, like when
yeah.
he wasn't particularly comforting to her regarding the funeral, but partially because he's the one that killed everyone, but
Yeah,
still.
of course.
And he was like, "Oh, why do you even work? You're married to the strongest guy in the world." It's like blah blah blah. And it's like, I work because I want to work, and I'm not
Yeah.
just a superhero wife. And
Do you think he actually loves her though?
I think to have stayed with her for as long as he has, yeah, because I don't see any reason why. I mean, he could have stayed a single man if you want, unless he's just trying to stay with her to keep up appearances and appear.
That's kind of why I'm asking because I was wondering, is she a means to an end? Is she an experience of human life? Like how to experience being a human.
Could be, but I think he wouldn't have needed to have stayed there for as long as he has, and the kids got powers now and everything. I think if he wanted to just make her have an accident. He would. If he was out to go, do you know what I mean? Blow a bus she's on off a cliff or something like that, and what a freak accident. I think he would do that. But I do think he looks down on her though. I don't think he sees her as a proper equal.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think he must care about her to some degree. He cared enough to, basically spend the whole day trying to convince her that he's innocent. Flew her to Italy, held half of Rome hostage effectively just to get her to say she's innocent. In the sense of when that dragon came, it was like, tell me you trust me. Like, please.
People are dying. People are dying.
Tell me. He's just like, raw, man. And then even after he got what he wanted, he still didn't even help them.
I'm on holiday.
My day off, man. Let's see still earn his paycheck. I was like, raw.
Annual leave. He takes it very seriously.
But, to be fair, if you booked in your paid time off, okay.
Yeah. Italy, Rome is gonna have to wait another day, man.
Oh my days, yeah. So that's interesting. I wonder who. I'm curious as to who's gonna expose, like, whether it be her or Mark that figure out first that what the dad's done.
Yeah,
it seems like it could be her because she's the only one actually looking. Because Mark's not actually looking right now. Mark's still, my dad's great, blah blah blah. Yeah. But you never know, like what.
Yeah, but I feel like Mark's instinct. I mean, the way that his dad, like that Omni-Man, will Rago just punch him in a way it looks like almost as hard as he can. Like, I'm not
holding back a bit. I mean, I'm sure
it probably is, but
if you wanted, he could probably punch a hole through him. But yeah,
I don't know if he can. I'm wondering if it's his knowledge of what Viltrumites should be able to withstand, why he's like going so hard on him, or if there's some sort of like resentment towards him that he'd like, I don't know, like he generally sometimes just wants to hurt him. I don't know, like I get elements of that with him, man. Like I feel like he's got some sort of resentment against Mark.
No, I don't think he resents him. I think he's well, not him as in I hate that you exist. Because again, bearing in mind how powerful this guy is, if he really wanted to get rid of that boy, I think it's more that it might be resentment that you got powers. Maybe like a part of him might have been hoping that the powers never came.
Yeah.
Because now that he has the powers, it complicates things, how we say.
Yeah.
But I don't think it resents him per se. Maybe resents the fact that he is now officially a Viltrumite and now must do what Viltrumites do, which we hope is protect the Earth, the innocent.
Yeah. Or maybe go to another planet and protect that planet, as seems Viltrumites do.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe he's just really okay. I'm not going to say that. I know why he's embarrassed, but yeah, like, he doesn't. I don't think he hates it, though. But that's not the vibe I got. It's more the listen. Things have changed now. You got powers. You need to act a certain way and do a certain thing. Mark's like, relax, man. Yesterday we was cool. Like, everything was normal. Like, no, that's yesterday. Today you have powers. And everything needs to change.
Which is I quite like because it's that whole thing where he's giving us a taste of how Viltrumites are, maybe some of the rigorous training that he had to go through on his planet, like the heartlessness.
Nobody called him Invincible.
No, it's true. Called him Omni-Man. That's almost like God-Man, almost.
Well, like I said, the way that I might need to watch that Guardians of the Globe scene again just to see the hands, man, because there was hands, man. I appreciated the hands that were like lefts and rights and hooks and chin. Anyway, the Damien Darkblood bit. How deep is it that after Batman's gone to his office, plant the blood and whatever, frame him, Cecil's find it. It was such an interesting conversation for me. It's like, the guy, the Darkblood, few words. Why are you arresting me? Found blood in your office, not mine. Framed. Yeah, we know. I was like, well, why are you arresting him then? Well, we need to make Omni-Man think that we don't know. Now, that's smart though. You see, that's what I mean. That's the difference between a plan like what Cecil's sort of doing versus, you know, when I initially thought Omni-Man was faking being passed out, I was like, that's not a good plan. His plan does actually make sense. I feel bad for Dark Blood, but the plan itself makes sense. No, we need to go all in, send you back to hell, whatever. Now Omni-Man will think, they don't suspect me anymore. They obviously think it's my man. No, they're so stupid. Like some simple fake blood in the office. And
and this is why I think Cecil is a reasonable man.
What do you mean, man?
A reasonable man.
Dark Blood, you sent my man to hell, man. How can you be reasonable?
For the good of Earth, man.
You could have just locked him in a secret room in the base and pretended he sent it to you. You didn't actually have to send man to hell.
The only way to make sure, man.
It's hell! Are you listening? Hell!
It's the only way to make sure. He's lived there before. It's a previous accommodation that he's lived in before.
I did like the way Dark Blood turned around and said, I can't remember how the line exactly, but there's a special place they send people like you. I said, boy.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a demon from hell. From a demon from hell tells you, nah, man, I won't see you in hell.
Yeah.
Special place. I said, wait. Hey, don't send me to that place. So
that is when you change your life. You become a monk or a nun. You do whatever you can. And just change your life.
Like literally, man. Literally go live in the mud. Don't send me to that place because a demon from hell just told me that. There's somewhere else they send you. Oh God. How can you be sent somewhere that you're longing for hell, bro? Jesus Christ, man.
Oh, yeah,
Cecil, he does seem like he's got the Nick Fury vibes. Like it's almost like you can definitely see the similarities. I'd even maybe go as far as to say that I'm trying to figure out which one of them would be less likely to be surprised. Because they're both prepared guys that have thought about different scenarios. But I feel like Nick Fury would like if Captain America just turned around all of a sudden and stabbed Hawkeye in the chest in front of Fury, I feel like Fury would be like, like what's happening here? Whereas I feel like Cecil would just be like, really? Yeah, I thought you might do that. And then the invisible troopers would appear with their guns like that. I need to keep feeling around to keep checking they're not around me, bro. Because they just, I don't like the way they just stays in like that.
I know. And even him, is that his power or is it technology?
That's technology. He's human.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
They're basically SHIELD met MIB, bro.
Yeah.
There's gadgets upon technology upon, that's how I describe them.
Yeah, I thought so. It's just I wasn't sure. Sometimes you still have like the shield or like the sword or whoever, but it might be that the leader of it is actually just someone with powers who believes that people with powers need to be controlled.
Yeah, exactly. I just had a thought. Would you say Omni-Man should have been the one to have gone to Mars instead of Mark? Or maybe should have both gone? Because the chances are, if Omni-Man had gone, it wouldn't have ended the way it did. Because that's the thing. The one scenario so far that Mark has done better than Omni-Man was when that guy was attacking the planet, and he flew up to fight him, and then ended up in a conversation with him and just realized it was just all a misunderstanding and the guy left. Because you get the impression that Omni-Man's probably fought him a couple of times and the guy's left, but never actually tried to ascertain, why are you doing this? But other than that, nothing has gone great because of his inexperience, right?
Yeah.
I feel like if Omni-Man had gone to Mars, things would have been dealt with probably in a better manner. But
yeah,
I had no interest in going to Mars. So,
I mean, well, the thing is, I feel like, like Mark could have dealt with it. I don't know. Of course, he didn't deal with it perfectly because he's a young kid going to Mars for the first time. I mean, gosh, but I feel like he could have dealt with it better. But it was a simple enough job where it didn't require Omni-Man. It really didn't. It could have even required just someone
Well, it
slightly
depends.
more.
You could argue it did because now one race is done and Earth's in danger because Mark, if we're honest, probably would have killed the humans himself. That's what I'm thinking, but that's what we're like. Okay, so when I say make it better, yeah, because I think what this universe is showing and what that episode showed is that the Martians were completely correct. Look what happened. Like Martians were, and like I like how this show touches on the let's not sugarcoat things. Like a superhero comic probably would have done something with Mark where everything worked out, but no, Omni-Man, he would have said, yeah, that way. He would have looked at the Martian, yeah, well, that makes sense, and he would have turned and just fucking hand sliced the four astronauts and just flown home. Said, yeah, later. And that would have been it. And then he wouldn't have cared that the Earth was upset that they're Martians. They would have given a damn.
He probably would have even told the truth when he got back. He's like, look, they got infected. One of them was possibly infected with the dangerous virus that would have actually.
He wouldn't have said possibly. He would have said infected because he's trying to hear a good guy. So I gave him a quick, merciless death, maybe.
Yeah, or just left them. Yeah, left them to the Martians' devices.
But the Martian race would still be alive today, and the Earth would not be under invasion. This is what I'm saying, man.
It's true. This is true. So Omni-Man should have gone, maybe, and then also they would have had him out of the way so that they could have done some proper investigating, whatever that would have looked like.
I'm surprised that the new Guardians of the Globe basically ended up being the team again, by the way.
This is what I was saying. This is what I was saying. And this is why I was saying that the combustion, the guy who cheated on Explosion. No. What's his name again? The guy who was cheating on Eve. Like, this is what I was surprised. Explosion, yeah. This is what I was surprised that he made it. He made the cut. Because I felt like he was all right. Maybe out of the group of people that was there, maybe he was the best, one of the best.
But they keep throwing shade at that team. What's that team that they keep throwing jokes at? That makes me laugh when they do that as well. Remember they mentioned there's a crap team and there's a couple references there. Like one where they nearly left the battle. It's like, oh yeah, lead the battle. What are we then? The C team or whatever their name is. Yeah. And they were there at the Guardians of the Globe tryouts. And then even Mark went, why are they here? Like, I was like, nah, man. If I was on that team, yeah, they need to get hands, man. Mark would need to get some hands because of being disrespected. They're heroes too, bro. You can't disrespect them like that, man.
Yeah.
But look at me, I'm disrespecting. I don't even remember their name. And they've said the name of the group like 3 or 4 times. I can't remember for the life of me.
Oh, right. I'm curious as to how powerful Mark will get in this series.
Also, an often trope you see with shows like this, especially and particularly in they do this a lot in Japanese animation in particular. Omni-Man is Endgame. What typically happens in mediums of more normal story, shall we say, is you'll see someone like Omni-Man and you'll be looking at him like, yeah, this guy's done. The problem a character like him creates is as long as that guy is there, you never really can feel like there's danger. Because even if a bunch of other people have their backs against the wall, you as a viewer just go, bro, just hurry up and call my man because, yeah, this is clearly out of your depth. So then what they normally, but what the character like that is showing you is that the other main character, this is what he can become one. You probably won't see it. If you're lucky enough to see it in the series, it's usually right at the end. Right?
Yeah. But also,
what they do is find some way either to kill that guy via whatever means, plot. Maybe he dies trying to save, he would have been fine, but he gave his life to save the other main character, or he retires in the case of like My Hero Academia, or he gets trapped in another dimension or something. But basically, they find some way to remove him. So then suddenly, everyone's a threat again. Because the guy that would come and just deal with everything is not here. So that's what I'm saying to you about what is sort of happening now, but in another way. Because for me, as long as he is there, I almost don't fear any villain because that's the villain. Yeah. That's the villain, bro. Like, I don't care what other villain I see because if this guy comes, after what I watched him do to the whole freaking Justice League,
But I also think that's the purpose of Mark or Invincible. He is there to kind of dislodge our minds that, in the sense that Omni-Man is invincible and untouchable, because we know that if Invincible is his son, like you said, he at some point will be able to get to Omni-Man's standard.
He'll be long, bruv. Bruv, at some point isn't gonna be like after he's learned his powers for a couple months, bruv. That some point will be in like 1,000 years when he's closer to this guy's age now, bruv. Bruv, you go back and watch that first episode again. And then look at Mark's feet, bruv. This guy is not touching Omni-Man anytime soon. Ever. Right. So again, he's gonna have to. Now, could he combine his efforts with CSEAL and Org, with the new Guardians of the Globe, whatever, and pull off some sort of miracle? That's a different story, because you have seen, again, the Justice League, the Guardians of the Globe, so I don't know why I keep going Justice League, they're hurting, but 1v1, hell. Mark ain't 1v1 in Omni-Man. Nah. I was like, Superboy, I don't care how evil Superman gets, Superboy ain't 1v1 in him, fam. It's just it's not happening.
It requires the work of another Viltrumite.
It requires the work of me. Let's just be here, but I'm signing with Omni-Man, man. It's not
what the hell, man?
I don't like that kind. Some fights ain't worth the risk, bro. This is just like professional boxing. It's not every fight you sign. Some fights you go, is this the right time? What's the state? Is there a world title on the line, bro? Why am I just gonna go?
That's because he wants to keep his O.
Exactly, bro. Like, I don't know why risk it, but maybe when there's a world title on the line, we can talk in it, bro. Wait, what would you give episode 4 out of 10, man?
4 out of 10. I mean, it's 8/9 for me, man. It's like it's just building up, man, and it's just a great story. Humor, the human aspect of it is great. It's actually weirdly just as entertaining as the superhero aspect of it, in my opinion. Like, even when the superheroes are experiencing human things, that for me is just as entertaining. And that's also like with the boys as well.
I was going to ask you, why do you think Robot took Rex Lode's DNA, bro?
Yeah, I don't really know, actually. I'm not sure if they're trying to create a supervillain group for the new Guardians to fight against and test their abilities. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting. The fact that
you still think ultimate. So you still think ultimately Robot's good, and that's his agenda is to help put the new Guardians of the Globe develop by fighting strong opposition, which would include Rex Lode, the person you dissed, the person you said ain't got hands, man.
Yes.
When he's literally got exploding hands. But you said he hasn't got hands.
I don't rate him. I do not rate him.
He's got hands, man. Stop disrespecting man like Rex Lode.
Not rate him, man.
You're just jealous because he's been made with different women.
Yes. 4. We've basically seen him with 4 different girls, not having sex with Eve, but we've seen him with 4 different girls. And
they're elite level. And to be honest, I've seen pictures of months ago when she's in an adult body. She's also elite level, bro. Rex don't play, bro. Rex ain't here for play.
Gosh, man.
But you said
if you had to...
I think I'd give this episode an 8. I liked it. There was a bit. It made me laugh. Mainly, I give it an 8 for the humor more than anything else.
Exactly.
A few times during that episode, I laughed, man. Robert Kirkman. Now, this is a double hit for me because obviously I'm a big Walking Dead fan. I don't know if you know. And now that he's done this, I'm gonna go buy the comics for this. I still need to go through the comics of Walking Dead as well, actually. But
do you still watch Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I stopped, man. I stopped. I stopped once the end or mid-season where what's his name dies. Actually, the guy who plays Stephen Yeun, the guy who plays Mark, when his character dies.
What? That was like season. So when Negan killed him with a baseball bat.
Yeah, but I stopped. I watched that season and then I stopped. I just got a bit fed up, man. I felt like it was good. I felt like the story had lost something for me. I just felt like I required something to tether onto.
For me, that's funny you say that. For me, that's probably my most favorite period because for me, Negan, what a villain, man. Negan he's easily top 3, he might even be number 1 greatest TV villains I've ever seen, man. Listen, I'm Negan. Yeah, I was walking around.
Can't be Negan and Mark.
Yes, I can. Negan changed me, man. Like if I was you, if you stop there, you miss one. Like the next season, one hell of, because the next season is just Negan in all his glory, man. And you watch that season, and then you will call me, and then you will say to me, "I'm Negan." I'm like, who are you? Negan, man. And for me, it was the season. It was after that because I'm not going to spoil what happens with Negan, but when he isn't the main focus anymore, a couple seasons later, that's when for me, because he should have been like Negan, man. He should have been Endgame, bro. You can't talk a villain like Negan, bro. Negan, hoy! Like what a deep my days. Yeah, I can't believe you watched that season, man.
Yeah, I watched. Man.
So hence because hence the villain after them can just never you set the bar. You'll never be Negan. So although you are a villain in your own. So right now they're dealing with by the way, they're on the final season as well. So that's the other thing. You're only a couple seasons away from finishing.
See, when there's knowledge of a final season, I'm more likely to watch it. It's a bit like back in the day.
Okay.
I stopped watching Lost because it felt like they were going nowhere with it, and then as soon as they announced that it was the final season, then I went back and watched it because it just felt like they were wasting my time going around in circles.
Let me check because wait. Because see, so season 10 is the final. Hold on. Wait, what? Oh no, is it?
I was like, Nanda.
Well, I've seen them talk about. Hold on, let me Google something. So the 11th. So they're midway through season 10 now. Season 11 will be the last season.
Okay. Gosh, so season 11.
I thought season 10 was the last season. So you stopped. So you said the last thing you saw was when he killed.
Well, that season. So I watched that season.
Yeah, but the death of my. Wait, what do you mean? Because the death of my man happened at the end of the season. So what
happened at the very first episode? I remember it very clearly.
Oh no! Do you know what happened? No, it did happen at the end, but they didn't reveal who he killed to the first episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
killed him and the ginger man.
Yeah. That was season. I'm trying to work out what season that was. I think that was season 7.
Yeah, which is a while back. I don't know. I just don't have the commitment to watch it, man. I know I won't. Unless if it's actually, I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. So it comes on Now TV first, new, and then when season 10, you can even get season 10 on Amazon Prime, but you have to buy it. But once it gets old enough, it will be Prime. But like up seasons 1 to 9 are Prime, like included in Prime, so you could watch.
Is it on Sky? But it could be on. I'm guessing it's probably a Sky box set then as well.
I'm not sure about no, because it comes in. Well, not right now. So it's funny on Sky. It's kind of annoying.
They get it.
How they like work. Like it's there. Like even now, the only reason I'm not up to date on season 10 is because by the time I realized season 10 was airing, they'd already removed like the first half of it.
Yeah, because they only keep 4 episodes at a time or something.
So now I need to wait for the whole thing to end. And then what they'll normally do is to build interest for 11, they'll normally put the whole thing up like a month before 11 starts.
Yeah.
And then that's when they do that, I'll watch it and then I'll try and I'll try and keep up to date with 11 because I actually don't like binge watching series like this because I don't like binge watching stuff that's has hour-long eps because it's just so freaking long.
Yeah, your life just disappears, man. You
Yeah,
can
exactly.
watch something and like days have gone by.
Yeah, so that's why I was even a bit annoyed when I was like, oh man, now I've got to wait for the whole because I wanted to try to be able to watch 11 on time. I need to binge watch it. But but the Negan and the whole Negan situation, the way it's dealt with is good, man. And Negan is the pinnacle villain of the whole show. Like, again, the villains that come after it for me, they're all right. I don't hate them, but they're just not Negan.
Yeah.
I've also really got into, you know what might reinvigorate your life for Walking Dead? It helped me. The spin-off show, The Fear the Walking Dead.
I watched a couple of episodes of it.
Season one and two in particular are really good. The best thing about season one was, for one, I thought they handled the whole introduction of the concept was interesting as well, right? At the start, like that whole, let's show you what happened minutes after it started, rather than, when you start with Walking Dead season one and like he's waking up for a coma and shit's gone on like for a year.
Yeah.
But they do a good job of making zombies scary again, and it also has a couple of clever characters. The only thing that was weird was that they figured out the whole it doesn't matter how you die thing you turn by like episode 4 or something, like really quickly. Whereas in the original Walking Dead theory, didn't find out to the end. It was the end of season 2. It was when you find it out officially when Rick knew. You find out Rick knew.
Yeah, because the guy whispers at the CDC.
Yeah. But he doesn't. You don't know as a viewer until the end of season 2, after Shane tries to kill him.
Yeah.
And then he kills Shane, and then Shane gets up straight away. Even though Rick, he wasn't bitten, Rick just shot him, and then Shane gets up, and then that's when Carl kills the zombie Shane. So it was sort of bizarre thinking, does that make everybody else in the main Walking Dead show really stupid? Because for 2 whole seasons, and none of you man clocked it. And these man clocked it by like the 3rd day of the zombie infection, bro. And in that universe, you've been around the whole zombie situation for a couple of years at that, but there's been time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Robert Kirkman's 2 for 2 with me. So I'm keen to see, any more of his works, and if I hear his name come up for any show in the future, I'm definitely gonna be like, hey, let me check that out. I feel like he knows what he's doing, man.
Yeah, but yes, I need to bounce anyway.
Oh yeah, it's past the time. We didn't get to. So what are we gonna do with Falcon? And
we'll do 2 episodes tomorrow, I guess, or whenever because I guess the new episode comes out tomorrow.